naturally. Don't make me repeat myself.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Thank you. You know? Huh? What should I do? You're wrong. You know? Huh? You know? But... Huh? You know? But... Huh? Thank you.
gym. School announcement, school announcement. Nighttime is quickly approaching, but before all students, please gather in the gym. Emergency!
Indeed. Right. Goodbye.
Yo. What? Yo.
Well. What the heck? Huh? What is... Huh? Certainly.
What? Could it... It's not like some occult mystery.
Huh?
Could it be... for serious?
What?
And?
Say what? If you please. Yep. Today, I'm feeling black. Hey,
You hear me?
Ba-bum, ba-bum. And I'm... Oh! Extreme! Yaha!
Listen to me! You hear me? Without a doubt. Quiet down and listen!
As for me...
Oh? Come on.
Honestly.
Here we go! Hey! See!
I'm sorry. But...
That's true.
You hear me?
This is a school announcement. It is now, as such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bug back.
Of course.
You should try reading between the lines. Good morning! Yep. Say what? Hey. Perhaps.
Huh?
Yep.
For this investigation, I have unlocked the door.
It's all... I see.
Danganronpa.
Very strange.
A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
What? Naturally.
Damn. Hey.
So... What? No way! Why?
What?
Hey! Action!
So then.
There is nothing.
Very strange. What? That's right. What? Let's go. What?
Did you call for...
That's right.
You need some? Yep. Unbelievable.
What? Very strange. I see.
Damn it! Making me angry! Now! That's it!
What? Don't make me repeat myself. Don't make me repeat myself. It's all clear now. I don't have time to...
Please! Well...
Very strange. Don't make me repeat.
Yeah!
Let's go.
But...
That's fine.
What the?
It's Byakuya. What? Don't make me repeat my... Let's go. So, in other words... That's right. What? That's right. That's right. So in... That's right. That's right. So in other words... That's fine. So in other words... I don't have time to play with you. Goodbye.
Indeed. However... Well... So then... Goodbye.
Actually... Are you... Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get...
Yes, indeed.
I'm sorry.
I'm getting tired of... It's the moment You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red...
Yo.
Come on! What are you gonna do?
Let's go.
It's...
Very well. Grills! Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive then I'll punish everyone besides the... Okay, let's talk about the...
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was...
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt? I bet it was an iron pipe. Interesting.
That certainly would...
Poor Chihiro.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a... What kind of blunt instrument could it have been? I bet it was an iron pipe. Interesting.
That certainly would...
Poor Chihiro.
Chihiro's fate. It appears it was...
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt instrument? I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, that's wrong!
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene, it was covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act...
What?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer... culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong! I might know one reason he could.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police.
What? That's kinda weird as shit, isn't it?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about it. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case according to the file. There appear to be two. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of...
Oh, that's right.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic.
Never made public? What the hell is...
Why don't you tell me?
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack, other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the hot.
However, Chihiro is most definitely suspicious. So, how did the culprit know about this when there's only one logical... It's because the culprit in this...
No fucking way!
You're saying genocide...
Yes. In fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true...
You lie! Okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, blodophobia or whatever, remember?
Is Toko Genocide Jack?
Another riddle.
Now I understand! Is it because Genocide Jack has a split
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere. They thought that the suspect might have... what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different.
That's right. Think back. She faked...
She was acting funny, that's for sure.
Don't go assigning adjectives to...
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle...
So when Toko trapped herself in her runes, it's because...
The reason she locked herself in her room, it was to keep her other...
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her.
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you...
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive, she told me she said, a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude.
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let. But in spite of that,
I tried!
but your efforts were useless. Well, the opening act is nearly finished.
You...
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see? What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko!
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a...
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation.
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all. Just kidding.
Then of course it's not true. How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. Just kidding again!
this should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is there's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma... If someone didn't murder and graduate within... Well, let's assume that if a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre...
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster. But I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong! Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack...
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine!
Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the genocide... I got it! For one, the cause of death is... In the genocide Jack murders, all the victims, according to the case file, they were... But Chihiro died from a blow to the head.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to... So, are you saying another different...
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to... They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous... Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement! Like I said, I'm a professional! So naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong!
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac!
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered. Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all... God?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little...
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. It's a different matter entirely.
Quiet, lolicon!
Lowly?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as Mears, and if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors! Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell? Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors? I don't just use any scissors! I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that? Da-da-da-da! to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, you gutter dogs, all of... Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on
But the body really was suspended, right?
Yeah, that's why we figured it out.
Here's my answer! Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to Class of Plus. You'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. These two purple glasses man was behind it all? Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion, then I must ask. When would you say I began acting suspicious?
Looking back and thinking about it, the way you were acting right before... You wanted to go to the girls' locker.
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girl.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so go ahead. Share with the...
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room...
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless to... What's so strange?
You wish you'd taken me with you?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found him. But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural...
The victim was Chihiro, who was a...
No, it's wrong! I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is... Huh? What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you... What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is more to it. We just talked about the differences between this. The proof you're looking for is...
Oh? Proof that I...
You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. AKA use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
What? The difference? You want me to explain it? When I want to kill, I use my very own special... And I use those same scissors.
But Chihiro was... It was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be something very...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you...
I've never seen that rope before in my...
No, that's wrong! Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or that extension cord... What? Byakuya, you've used the and the same extension cord that went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that...
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room. I intentionally... What's wrong? I asked...
Hell yes, that's what happened.
I don't disagree with not...
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, I know, there's something that's still...
Is that right? I killed her in the girls' locker room. Specifically, I dressed it up. What about all that?
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the group, but are you sure about that?
How did... What kind of question is that? Even in the... She was found dead in the... How could the scene of the...
Well, I think it's along with the rest of the murder...
That was awfully specific.
I believe
If there's any chance...
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is... Your proof? The poster in the girls' a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you... Why would the girls...
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boy's locker room.
So you're saying that...
And there's one other thing. You know what I'm talking...
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled, but I noticed that after the murder, the stain...
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet. In fact, I found it on the board.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched? But why would anyone...
To move the murder scene from one locker room. What? In other words, in order to complete the bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along with it. By doing this, the killer was able to change...
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but... What?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble? Actually, an even bigger question, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker? To get into the locker rooms, but Chihiro's handbook should have... She had no way to get...
No, she did have a way!
I highly doubt...
Shut up! Until...
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into...
She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer. I'm sure there would have been no problem.
No, I don't think she used to think I was... Huh? What the...
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong! No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against...
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all...
Yup. Hit the nails.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't...
So then, she must have hacked hers like I said.
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption...
It seems like there's no way she could have got into...
Okay then!
Hold on a sec. I agree with you, though. I think you're...
What the... You finally decide to open your mouth and there's no way she could get in the boys'...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in?
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, alright then. I declare an official class trial. Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be...
Oh, I have no doubt...
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to...
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time. Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully.
Examine her carefully. No, wait!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over it.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on...
Very well.
But you're a girl.
No, it's okay. So just...
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? That's not it at all.
Okay, I'm sorry, Chihiro.
Be sure to check her entire body.
Her entire body? What?
What is it?
Not possible. This girl
Is what?
is a boy!
Ah, I see. So, she is actually a he.
What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
It's really true?
Chihiro was... a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a...
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Now let's ride this wave of I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, we've all just learned of the shocking revelation.
Yes, well... I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact... And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was...
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body.
Well, I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever.
He's off. What about you, Makoto? After everything...
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look, but... I think he might not actually be the—
What? But aren't you the one who—
He just seems to be too... The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could at least... That's how... And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, and then again when you found out Chihiro, if you really were the killer, that stuff would...
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have... It's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct.
Mark it as...
He's right. I just happened to come across the corpse in the...
Are you fucking with us?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you that...
Well, I find it very hard to believe!
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then... Why? What?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Now then. If...
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought...
No, I'm with Makoto. If we're wrong, we all die.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do.
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time.
That's very...
Our lives are all...
Excellent. Then shall we resume our...
I got it!
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but... Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who? Well,
did nobody get... I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim. Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new...
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the killer? And only the killer. It's not like they're just gonna turn themselves...
Game over, man!
Yeah! No! Not game over!
Isn't there a single clue?
Did nobody get... I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some... Yeah. All we need...
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the...
No, that's wrong! I believe someone else did see the victim before he...
Now that you mention it, yes.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Mako... The rest of you had no idea, did you? That...
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel, and then, I assume...
A track jacket and a duffel bag?
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd. Chihiro told me he was in a hurry, but Why would he be in a...
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to...
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was enough, so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Oh, the marvel! The point is, whoever he met up with is...
But knowing what we know...
Who is it?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag. Focus on the details of these.
You really think we can figure...
Why? Even if we have...
Easy for... But the...
Well, if I...
Perhaps. Let's explore that. First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! He picked that track. It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No, that's wrong.
Hold on a second, Mondo.
Huh?
When Celeste testified a few... She never said anything about... So why did you say Chihiro...
What are you...
Hey, Celeste.
As a matter of fact...
And before we began the trial...
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then... Mondo, how did you know what
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by...
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro, if you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly...
It would appear you dug your own...
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with?
Ah, now I understand. Your true intention was to draw... That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him, but why? That's a good question. There was a certain turning point. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude, and after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice it? Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not nearly as frightful as someone capable.
Mondo, did you really...
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything What gives you the right to treat me?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of...
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found...
Really? What? Actually, no.
Jeez, is your comp?
What do you... It happens to be an event.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook
For a fact.
For a fact, I was totally...
Then it must hold some...
Well, that's what I was...
I imagine the culprit broke it to get...
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so...
You're right. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken. As for all your confidence, that is a remark.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery? How precisely?
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook...
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told any—
But if the handbook is supposed to never break...
Then we can only assume that you know what the weakness is. I think it's a necessary piece of information.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it,
just tell us already!
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demand. Then allow me to make a special announcement. When it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will—
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and
Interesting. I learned one.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victims, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew it.
But how'd they find out?
Indeed.
What if they found out by—
What do you mean?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy—
I won't say it's not possible. I don't know of anyone who took their hand—
I might know someone who did. Whoa! I think the one who may have taken their handbook— Shoot! Here's my answer! Mondo, your handbook got—
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could—
No! Wait! Hold on! I don't accept this! Show me the proof!
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook, then that proves that what
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook, then that proves that what—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is correct, then that proves that what—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test if what he says, you broke your own.
In other words, if Mondo's, then that proves that what—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No, he's wrong! Mondo, The handbook you have.
The fuck is that supposed?
The broken handbook that was. Isn't that one?
What the heck are you talking?
What I mean is, I think you took Leon's handbook and replaced. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to
So then, the broken hand, which would mean that the handbook.
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your...
Well, there is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But as such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with...
Well, Mondo, I'm happy to... Okay, then why don't we look back on that way? You! First, let's take a look back to before last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, but how could the victim, who was apparently a The killer is you! With bag and she made her way. The killer is you! With bag and she made her way. Simple, which is why he was able to use his own handbook to gain entrance. Once inside, he met with someone there, and the person he met was the one who killed him. The killer is you! Once inside, it seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell and attacked it. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and car. It was likely, which is why then removing. The killer is you! Which is why the killer. And finally, a girl's handbook with this alone doesn't prove that the. After all, using one of those, a boy can. I refuse to give up yet! exactly what happened. First, let's... Last night that something was a blue tracksuit. With bag, she made her way to the locker room. But how could the victim, who... Simple. Because she was which is why he was able to use it. Once inside, he met with someone there. It seems likely that the killer grabbed it. But this alone... After all, using one of those... And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room. That could have been the end of things. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to... So, after he went and grabbed the extension cord from the light, he used the cord to strip. Then, using the victim, he wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was And around the same time that Byakuya was putting the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and there, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence. And just as the killer expected, the steam somehow, the killer knew that, and the reason they knew that is because that's how it all... Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
Evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any... Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! Show me some evidence!
This should prove it! If my thinking so, Mondo must have replaced his broke, in which case, we can just check once we do that.
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
Bro!
I got no choice, man. After hearing all... Go ahead, Monokuma. Ask for the god...
Roger that!
Wait!
No waiting! No holding on! Time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Who will you elect as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice? Or the... What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What? Unbelievable.
Sorry.
What is...
Now then. Actually... Ha!
Weak.
Hey,
But... That's right. I want to change.
hey,
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Correct. Indeed. Certainly.
But...
Because... I knew it.
What is this? You're wrong!
Don't make me repeat myself.
Hey,
I just... Don't fuck with me!
Huh? But I want to change.
What? What?
Huh? No. What's wrong?
Damn you!
I just...
Yeah, that's right. You son of a bitch! Thanks to that.
It can't be.
Well now.
Ridiculous.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Indeed.
What the heck? Damn it! Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. Fear and despair charge. But I must admit, I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting. After all, that's what as long as you don't want to know my measurements. My. You really took me by surprise. I know I said you could ask anything. Super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you speak. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close.
I know, but I've had enough.